When planning this project, I knew immediately that I wanted to do a piece about the mortality of doctors. I'm very aware of the overwhelming pedestal of healthcare careers. Doctors are revered, even deified. They're seen as the epitome of success. But what people tend to forget, especially in the midst of a crisis like this one, is that doctors are just as human and fragile as anybody else. Their responsibility comes at the price of their mortality, their youth spent in rigorous schooling, their time and energy devoted to others. I think we, as a society, like to enjoy the image of young, healthy doctors, smart and efficient, who point out harm and fix it immediately, like superheroes. But doctors have human limits. They get tired, they make mistakes. They have people they care about and things they want to do but are willing to set aside for the good of others. As an aspiring medical student, I face the future of the white coat, an honor to bear, but one that I must remember is upheld by very normal people with human, emotional, mental, and physical needs. Through art, I aim to dissolve the boundary between patient and doctor, to demonstrate that doctors should be respected, not because they're professionally successful, but because they are ordinary people who willingly took up an extraordinarily noble cause. In a way, this piece serves two functions: to remind the audience that doctors are human and their service should not be taken for granted, and to remind the healthcare system that their practice should not be rooted in the spirit of elitism or arrogance, but in respect for human life, the patients, and the practitioners. This piece started out as acrylic on canvas, and I transferred it digitally and finished it on Procreate with gouache and chalk brushes. I wanted this doctor to look ordinary. She's not beautiful or even very young. I added bags under her eyes and a neutral expression. She's a bit tired, but I wanted to evoke a sense of reverent peace. The skull half of her face is a blatant allusion to death, the death she faces and fights every day, and the reality of her own death that she faces like everybody else. The skull also physically relates to what's under her skin, bone and muscle, just like anybody else. Doctors are made of the same vulnerable materials as their patients, something we should remember as we watch our brave healthcare professionals face COVID-19. More importantly, the colors I chose are purposely very colorful to represent the vibrancy of her life. She's a unique individual. Her life is beautiful and precious, just like the ones she tries to keep healthy. Lastly, the name of this piece is Mortal Mortem. It's a bit of a play on words on memento mori, a reminder that nothing is immortal. Doctors are human and face their fate like anybody else. Yet, in the midst of facing their own mortality, they aim to preserve and enrich the lives of others.